Now, Hillary Clinton is releasing a new book about 2016 titled, What Happened? Well, we know what happened, but apparently she offers an alternative view of events that led up to her eventual embarrassing loss to Donald Trump. Now, in this book, she blames a lot of people. She blames James Comey, Vladimir Putin, Bernie Bros, Bernie Sanders, everybody under the sun, essentially, except for herself. In fact, in the book, she says that Clinton says that she was put in a straitjacket during the primary by President Obama, who she writes advised her not to attack Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, she said it was out of a fear that it would divide the party. See, it wasn't me dividing the party. Barack Obama told me not to attack, so I didn't attack. Really? Are you kidding me? When Bernie Sanders went high, the Clinton people went incredibly low. You can't get lower than smearing a progressive as a sexist and a racist. Not only that, but all your friends in mainstream media, they red baited him every time. Are you a communist? Are you sure that's not communism? What do you think about communism? Dude, it's socialism. It's democratic socialism. Ridiculous, right? So look, there's a lot of examples of how it was a nasty, nasty campaign. Again, Hillary Clinton surrogates everywhere, saying that Sanders people were, again, sexist, racist, violent. Nevada, they claimed that Bernie Sanders people were throwing chairs. There were videos of that completely debunking it. They still ran with it, all in mainstream media. But they pushed a narrative, as I said. They had their friends at the Washington Post push 16 negative articles in 16 hours. Hatchet job after hatchet job. Look, if anybody held back, it was Bernie Sanders, okay? Bernie Sanders ran an issue-based campaign. Now, what I said, look, he could have attacked her on the server, for example. He could have attacked her on the emails. He said, I'm sick of the damn emails, okay? Let's talk about the real issues. So, look, this book is alternative facts, right? It's full of alternative facts. Now, for Sanders' part, on this criticism, well, they talked to him, and basically he said, I don't care. I don't care about what she says in the book. I'm not looking backwards. I'm going to look forward. We got stuff to do. I'm out there fighting for $15 minimum wage. I'm out there fighting for Medicare for all that I'm about to introduce. So I ain't got time for this 2016 bullshit nonsense that Hillary Clinton has. So his message, move forward, right? That's Bernie's take. He's not interested. He wants to go talking about policy, and that's the difference, right? Hillary right now, she's spending all her time casting blame and not moving forward, while Sanders is doing what he's always done. He's actually fighting for good policy. And this really shows you the kind of person that Hillary Clinton is. Apparently, she is very not gracious in defeat. And this is actually starting to get on the nerves of some Democrats. That includes Joe Biden, who she went after. Now, according to The Hill, even some of Clinton's allies have grown weary of her insistence on re-litigating the 2016 campaign at a time when the Democratic Party is looking to forge a new identity in the age of Trump. One former Clinton fundraiser and surrogate who played an active role at the convention, just to show you who this person is, had some very harsh words for her. He said the best thing that she could do is disappear. Damn. Quote, she's doing harm to us all because of her own selfishness. Honestly, I just wish she'd shut the fuck up and go away. Hey, watch out, dude. You know, you don't want to be labeled a sexist for you telling a woman to shut up. It's a little ironic, coming from that camp. But you know what? I'm glad they're speaking out, even if it is anonymously. Now, another former Obama aide said, quote, none of this is good for the party. It's the Hillary show, 100%. And a lot of us are scratching our heads and wondering what she's trying to do. And he finally says, it certainly is not helpful. Well, that's entirely true. Now, you also have somebody going on the record, and this is Representative Jared Huffman, Democrat from California. He tweeted out a couple of days ago, so you might have missed it. He said, quote, please, Hillary, don't go there. I supported you. Bernie showed restraint and class, and ran aspirational campaign. And he follows it up by saying, politics is rough sometimes. Absolutely, man. 100%. And look, they're not the only people pissed. Of course, progressives are pissed. I'm pissed, right? Look, she not only will take, we're not pissed that she not only won't take responsibility, but she blames us, right? She blames people who voted for her, even if it was just to avoid Trump. We did what you said, right? We voted to try and stop Trump. Now, that did not work. And, of course, the mainstream media will love to point that out. Oh, 12% of Bernie Sanders voters voted for Donald Trump. Yeah. That means 88% of Bernie Sanders voters voted for Hillary Clinton. And you want to talk about the people who got Trump in office? Well, let's look at the Obama-Clinton voters. Those voters who voted for Obama, and then ended up voting for Trump. It's the Obama-Trump voters, sorry. They voted for Obama, and then later on turned and said, you know what, I'm going to try out this Donald Trump. Why don't we ever go after those guys? There are far more of them than it was for the Sanders voters that switched over to supporting Donald Trump. Nobody talks about those guys, though. Nobody. But look, even though 88% of Sanders voters voted for Hillary Clinton, that apparently is not enough. Now, you have one progressive, Jonathan Tassini, writing this, and I think it makes it very clear why progressives are so angry with Clinton's action after her loss, and sets up actually a real interesting distinction between her and Sanders. He writes, one person has been out in the country almost without stopping since the election, rallying people to defend Obamacare against tax cuts for the wealthy and for a $15 minimum wage. The other person, while Trump has been ripping the country apart, has been taking long walks in the woods, drinking Chardonnay, hobnobbing with celebrities, and writing a book that entirely ignores the failure of the party establishment over a decade or two. People can choose what kind of party they prefer. Talk about, man, that 100% on that one as well. And look, that's what Hillary Clinton did. She disappeared in the woods, and she came back and immediately started blaming everyone else, instead of using her power for good. She used it to, of course, talk about herself. You didn't see Sanders doing that when Hillary Clinton became the nominee, despite being absolutely screwed by the DNC. And still being smeared, Bernie Sanders campaigned his ass off for Hillary Clinton. He campaigned for her harder than she did. It's amazing, but it just shows you the attitude and hubris of Hillary Clinton. And now, despite this criticism, unfortunately, Clinton still has widespread support and goodwill within Democratic circles. One representative, John Larson, said, quote, she still has matriarchal capability because she was the First Lady of Arkansas, the First Lady of the country, a United States Senator, and a Secretary of State. He continues, hard to find any elected Democratic woman who has her status and over such a long period of time. Yes, she's been in politics her entire life. And her family has made over $3 billion from politics. So her capability is raising shit tons of money from rich people. Just saying. And speaking of her ability, okay, if she even has this ability in the party anymore, how is she using it? Well, she's using it to punch left instead of using her power for good. You know, pushing for progressive priorities. I mean, look, some of those priorities could use some establishment support. Like, let me give you an example. Medicare for all, right? That could use a lot of support. And you even have Kamala Harris, right? Who is, I think, next in line, the anointed one, next in line for the Democratic primary in 2020, supporting Medicare for all. So let's get with the program, okay? The establishment can jump on board these incredibly popular policies and actually use them to win, so long as they actually enact them and not just use them for lip service. But no, they can't do that. No. And look, when it comes to the establishment, their beloved Hillary can do no wrong. Look, guys, I'm so tired of talking about 2016. I'm so tired of talking about Hillary Clinton. Look, I am. Like, if I had my way, I would never talk about her again. I know you're tired about hearing it. But seriously, here she is. She comes back with her establishment friends, going on cable TV, blaming us, blaming Bernie, relitigating the elections, not taking responsibility for the campaign she ran against Donald Trump. And that campaign, by the way, of losing the election, it's going to have implications for decades to come. We now have a conservative Supreme Court for years, for decades. That's why we can't stay silent. That's why we have to respond. Look, I can't just let this go as much as I want to. I want to let it go, but I can't, because she won't let it go. Okay? And the attacks, they're not true. They're nothing more than it's nothing more than assault on progressives, man. An assault on good policy. And we can't stay silent. We've got to keep fighting back. And that's what I'm going to do here. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.